Okay. Creating an EC2 instance, run EC2 instance, blah 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 blah. Group name is only supported in EC2 classic and default security group. Right? What is the group name? VPC ID is not it's not provided. So we didn't actually provide the VPC and other things, right? So let's actually see how that is defined. So how do I define a VPC? Excellent question. So let's control F VPC. It should either, okay, this is not here. I want to search it in AWS instance. Where is the instance? This is the instance. I need VPC to be defined over somewhere. So I would either provide VPC details or the subnet details, right? So VPC subnet ID, VPC security groups, non-default VPC. So here if you see, you also have to provide a non-default VPC. So if you are providing security group, then you need to provide this variable and not the security groups variable. The security groups variable is only going to work for the classic VPC, that is the default VPC. So this is also not going to work. And anyways, I need to provide the subnet ID, right? So let's go back to our dashboard. Here I say subnet ID and AWS underscore net. I'm going to put it in this subnet, which is good. And security groups should not be the same. Now I've done that. It's set to auto save, so it will automatically save my Terraform. The VS Code is set for an auto save. Make sure that you're saving the code before running every time. Do a control S. Do a yes, and it should at least create the what? Try to create the thing for you, and might throw an error for security groups. So let's actually see if it throws the error for security groups or not. No, it didn't. It actually creates the EC2 instance, which is good. Let's see. EC2 instance, is it running or is it just out there? Okay, the EC2 instance seems to be hello world, which is fine. If you see, I don't have a public IP assigned to this. We'll have to see why. And what I'm interested in is in security groups. So is it allowing my security group? Yes, it has allowed my security group. This is what I wanted. Now the problem is it is not having an IPv4 address. Why? Now with my experience, I know that I have missed something in the subnets itself. So when I created the subnets, so if you remember, there is an option for auto assign public IP. There is it auto assign public IP, and it's set to no, right? So we need to make sure that that is enabled on the subnet level. So the AWS underscore subnet again. So search for AWS subnets wherever that is. Not the data block, but the resource block. And here you need to check for auto assign assign IPv6, no. Enable this, no. Map customer own, no. Map public IP on launch, right? So this is the option that I want. So copy this. Specify true to indicate the instance launched into the subnet should be associated with the public key, and the default is false. So that is why it was false for us. Let's go back. Where is the security? Top somewhere in the above. So make sure that you are doing it as true, because this is a boolean character, so it will need that true or false statement to be assigned, and that is true, right? That's it. These are the two things that you needed, and you could create your thing. Now let's actually apply it. Apply. So what this is going to do is it is going to update our subnets for us. Is it going to recreate the EC2 instance? No, it's not going to recreate the EC2 instance, because all the configuration that we had provided for the EC2 instance remains the same, right? Or is it going to create the EC2 instance? Let's see. So it is also destroying something and recreating it, right? Will be replaced. So yes, it is also recreating the EC2 instance. Why is it recreating the EC2 instance? Let's actually see this. So here, if you see the security group, because of the security group, it is recreating the EC2 instance. I'll say it as yes, because anyways the EC2 instance is of no use for me. So I'll recreate the EC2 instance. But once the subnets are having that setting, right, and once we get a public IP, let's actually go to the EC2 instance and see is it even working or not, and then we'll try to run a Terraform apply again and see if the issue still occurs. What is the issue? The EC2 instance is getting recreated. Why is it getting recreated? It is getting recreated because of security groups. Now, did I change anything in the security groups? Absolutely no. Nothing has been changed in the security groups, but still this wants to recreate itself. So that's a bigger problem to address, and we'll try to address. We already know why that is happening because I showed you the security group variable name that we had to take. That is the key value that we had to take or something else and not this one, right? So that could be a possible reason. So obviously it takes some time for the instance to be destroyed, subnet to be modified, and a new instance to be created. AWS is going to take its own sweet time. Now, probably this is where we will pause for today after we test the EC2 instance and fix that part. In the next class, we would be looking into variables now, and we'll also try to see how we can simplify the code. Right. So let's actually see that. So coming to the EC2 instance, one of them should be terminated, the other one should be running. So let's actually see if that is true. Yes. And do I have a public IP? Yes, I have a public IP to my EC2 instance, which is even good. Now let's actually have another shell window. I'll go inside the directories, the keys, right, and there's SSH into that SSH. That is EC2-user @ this is the IP address, and this is my key pair, blah blah blah. Linux being Linux, it will come up as soon as it can, right? So I'll do a yum update -y, and we'll also do wow, it's taking time, not good. Yeah, completed. Yum install HTTPD, right? So yes, it has installed the HTTPD service. Systemctl enable HTTPD dot service. That is also done. Cd var dub HTML echo. This is my website, and I want to put it into index.html. And then what I want to do is systemctl restart httpd dot service. Okay, makes sense. Let's actually see if we are able to access the website or not. Port number 80. Website should be working. This is my website, it's working. Excellent. Now let's test our theory that with Terraform apply and see if the Terraform is recreating our EC2 instance or not. Right. So here if you see, this time there is no subnet changes, but again it is going to delete and recreate the EC2 instance. Is this a good thing? Absolutely no. This is not a good thing to happen that your EC2 instance is getting recreated on every Terraform apply. The last time it was suitable because we wanted it to be recreated with a public IP. That's why we let it recreate. But in actual terms, we should not be doing that. So this security group part, right, is the reason why we should not be doing this. Associate security groups in a non-default PPC. So I actually need to use this instead of security groups if I want to have my PPC declared. So let's actually go here, and wherever you find this, make sure that you are changing it to this. Again, this is IDS, means IDs. That means it is looking for the array, right? I'll call it as node, and I'll go Terraform apply again. Hopefully, it is not going to ask us for recreation of EC2 instance. Even if it does, hopefully this should be the last time it asks us to recreate the EC2 instance. Oh, great. It's not asking us to recreate the EC2 instance. Make sense? Yes. So this is how you work with Terraform to actually create your EC2 instances, or to create your setup, or to create your entire infrastructure, right? So let's do a Terraform destroy, which is going to destroy all the resources that it has created so far. How many resources has it created so far? I'm not sure. So let's actually see what all it has created for us. So 15 resources were created. It is going to destroy all the 15 resources for us. I don't know what it did. Let's do a Terraform destroy again and see. Now let's say the next time you want to create, so it didn't destroy it. So yeah, I've destroyed it now. So destruction is now working properly. Let's say next time you want to create this setup, right? So this setup can be called as the production setup, wherein you have the jump server and everything set up. Obviously, you don't have the private subnets in the network, NAT gateway and everything there, but you have this setup, right? Let's say I want to create this for a new batch. I'll call it as batch number 39. Hopefully you like the classes and recommend some folks to join me for the next batch, right? Let's say, right? And this is how it goes. And all I have to change is this IP address, that is 10.38 dot something, to I need to change it to 10.39. That's it. This is the only thing that will change. So I'll call it as 10.38 to 10.39. Let's save it out. Right. So this one is still destroying. So let it destroy. But if you see the beauty of this, right, what is going to happen is I will be able to create my VPC, so, the entire setup for batch number 39 in like 10, in like 2 minutes or so, right? Because it's going to be very fast. Why is it going to be fast? Because I already have the code. I just had to change certain places, certain variables, certain inputs at certain places, and I need to rerun that. So I'll go into batch number 39. I'll do a Terraform init. I'm directly doing a Terraform apply because it's going to give you a plan anyways. And if you run it, it should give you the details. It's going to give you the setup for that. Let's look at the VPC. I should not have any VPCs as of now because we terminated them. Hopefully, yes. So yes, I want to create 15 things for me, and that's it. It has started to create it. And here, if you see, it has now created the VPC for me. Very soon, you will see subnets being created. Very soon, you will see something else, a routing being created, and so on and so forth. Right? All the infrastructure that you wanted will be created in like minutes and not hours. It's definitely not going to take you an hour to create everything. It's only going to take you, let's say, less than 2 or 3 minutes to create the entire thing, right? So this could be as big as an infrastructure. So this is how Terraform is very important, right? Now it is reducing the time it takes to create your infrastructure from, let's say, 1 week to set up everything. It is bringing it down to like minutes or hours, right? In our case, from 1 hour of entire setup, it is now brought it down to this much, and along with EC2 instance. You could also have an AMI created in such a way that the EC2 instance also comes up properly. Right? You don't have to log in and do anything in EC2 instance. That is the level of setup that can be done. Right? But obviously, you're not going to venture into that. Terraform destroy is what you're going to do so that the resources are destroyed. Cleanup is excellent over here, right? So if you want to practice AWS, maybe start using Terraform as well. That is going to give you a better leverage of your time. You're not going to spend an hour creating the entire infrastructure. It will just take you a very little amount of time, like 2 minutes, to bring the entire VPC network and everything come up. And then probably you could practice your load balancers, DNS and stuff accordingly, right? So this is what we have created for ourselves. Okay, we're also almost all an hour into it. The next class, right, what we're going to do is play with variables in Terraform, and we are also what we are going to do is reduce the size of this script, right? So if you see this thing, only for two subnets, one EC2 instance, and this, right? This is already at almost on a 207 lines, right? This is already this big. And we have not added private subnets, NACL, route table, private route table, private NACLs, right? So we have not added anything of that yet. If we keep on adding that, it would cross anywhere between, it will touch anywhere between 450 to 500 lines of code. It is very difficult for anyone new to go through. So tomorrow what we are going to do is we are going to refactor this code, right, into something else so that you get a better sense. So I'll call it as, I'll rename this folder as 38-2, right? So this is one of the code. We'll continue using, or we'll create another folder and start using it, right? Great. That's it for today's class. Let's meet for the rest of the things tomorrow.